Ladies and gentlemen, fellow Toastmasters, friends, and viewers at home, welcome to Golden Speakers Toastmasters of Fairfield, Iowa. It's 7:45 on Tuesday night at the United Methodist Church, the corner of Court and what's the
Briggs.
B and Briggs. Thank you. All right, my name is Rhonda Whitaker. I'm the president. I would like to say that a good speech is like a sharpened pencil. It has a point. So tonight, I would like to point out that we have an opening for VP of Membership. It's a great opportunity to improve leadership skills, to enhance your self-confidence, empower yourself, and improve your meeting greeting skills. We already have an assistant VP membership. We'd like to have one of our club members step up as VP of Membership tonight. Do I have anyone interested at all? I thought you would say that, so I'm going to bribe whoever takes VP of Membership. They get a comedy routine by Henry Rollins, Shock and Awe. It's outstanding. I listened to it to see if it would help me with my speeches. I think it could help anybody. So here's the bait. I would like to see somebody who would like to grow in leadership step up and take this position. We have people to help you. It won't be hard. We're asking that you meet and greet people, introduce people to officers, bring them in, sit them down next to someone who can answer their questions, make them feel welcome. It's very simple. We'll do all the rest of the work. You just have to take the position and go to training. Okay, now I'd like to turn this meeting over to Jyoti Raj, our Toastmaster.
Thank you, Rona. Fellow Toastmasters, guests, and viewers at home.
No guess.
No guests?
We have a guest.
Yes, we have one guest.
Stan.
He's a semi
Will you
guest.
please stand up and say where you
Honorary
were?
guest.
Honorary guest.
Yeah.
What would you like?
Oh, I just want to hear that why you are here and
I'm
what
just
do
here
you
to
think?
come and enjoy my friends and watch them grow and prosper and enjoy Toastmasters.
Thank you.
Yay!
Today I'm your Toastmaster, host, anchor, master of ceremony, whatever you like to call me. Today's theme is the promise of summer. Summertime is always the best of what might be. Yeah, summertime is always best. Without further delay, that clock is 5 minutes late. So without delay, I'll just introduce the role player of the day. We have a role players who does all this work, timing, accounting, joke master, grammarian, and all those things. So first I would like to introduce our timer, Briggs Star. Briggs Star,
So the timer uses these lights to signal the speakers as their time is drawing to a close. So for a table talk, which is 1 to 2 minutes, at 1 minute the green light comes on. At 1 minute 30 seconds, the yellow light comes on, and at 2 minutes the red light comes on. For a 5 to 7 minute speech, the green light comes on at 5 minutes, the yellow light comes on at 6 minutes, and the red light comes on at 7 minutes. And the speaker has his or her allotted time, maximum allotted time, plus 30 seconds. If they exceed that, they are disqualified.
Thank you.
Evaluation.
Oh, evaluation.
Evaluation.
Evaluation, yes, and at the end of the speeches, I'm given an evaluation. No,
Evaluation timing.
excuse me. The evaluators, the table topics evaluators are 2 to 3.
All. All
Well,
evaluators.
I was going to say it separately, but the tabletop topics, speech, and all other evaluators are 2 to 3 minutes, and the timing is the same as the table topics.
Through. Go through. Pretty detailed.
Oh, detail, okay, so for the evaluators, At 1 minute, the green light goes on. No?
2 minutes.
Oh, sorry, 2 minutes, the green light goes on. 2 minutes and 30 seconds, the yellow light goes on. And at 3 minutes, the red light goes on.
There you go.
All right.
Jesus Rio is our general evaluator. He'll come later in the meeting. Our counter tonight is Darlene Martin. Darlene, can you please tell us what is your role?
I'll be your awe counter this evening, and my role is to catch fill-in words such as like, you know, so, but, and tongue click. That's what it sounds like. Pause, and repeats, and false starts, and I will give you a report at the end of the meeting.
Our greeter and joke master tonight is Vera Elizabeth. She'll tell us a joke at the end of the meeting. Our grammarian tonight is Karen Aoti. She'll tell her what is her role tonight.
Good evening. I'll be listening to use of language tonight, and I'll make a note of good and bad uses of the English language. I will also introduce the word of the day. If I can get this around. Thank you. I'll just introduce them while they put it together. The word is bucolic. Can everyone say bucolic? Oh, good. It means idyllically rusty. So the sentence is, many have moved to Fairfield for the bucolic life. It's an adjective.
How do you pronounce that?
Bucolic.
Bucolic.
Not like Proctor.
Thank you.
Our ballot counter is Scott Terry. He will count the ballot.
All right, Scott, thank you.
So our next section of the meeting is the table topics, which is impromptu speaking. I'd like to call Cindy Trainer to take the flag.
Meeting theme tonight is the promise of summer, and here's the quote by Charles Bowden. Summertime is always the best of what might be. I'm going to base our table topics on that theme. So table topics is impromptu speaking, where people come up, they probably don't know what the question is going to be. In fact, I really don't know what the question is going to be myself, because I was tapped on the shoulder saying, Stephen's not here, could I be topics master? Who would like to be the first volunteer? Marilyn! Yay! Right there. What is your favorite part about summer? Is it the temperature, the weather, what you can do in the summer? Just tell us what your favorite part of summer is. And
All right.
I haven't done table topics for so long, I just had to get up here. My favorite part of summer is the bucolic nature of summer. Summer has a special energy, I think. I like fall too. I like all the seasons, but summer is special. It has that special energy about it. I meet groups of bicyclists going down the road all the time. Groups of people, barbecues, holidays. Tom and Cindy just rowing down, floating down the Mississippi, just relishing the bucolic life and relishing the majesty of the Mississippi. And RAGBRAI's just around the corner, isn't it? So it's community, friends, relatives, everybody getting together. Summer brings people together, unlike any other season, I feel. And that's what I love about the summer. It's that special energy of bringing people together for great times, memorable times, and really happy, joyful times. Thank you.
Jean,
Yep. And it's Miss Jean.
and guests are welcome to come too. Saw something on the TV tonight about dogs and hot cars. What do you do to keep your two four-legged friends at home comfortable during the summer season?
Really, the key to keeping four-legged friends cool is as follows. Number one, make sure they are very clipped. We have Shih Tzus, they grow hair out to brushing on the ground. This is not the time to have that kind of do for them. You need to get them all shaved off. They're beautiful that way also, but keep it short. That's number one. Number two, you need to adjust the aerobic schedule for the day. Now normally, dog walker Premier is walking the dogs 2-3 laps around in the morning, which is cooler during that time. But even then, it's kind of muggy, it's hot. Maybe that's not the best time. So they maybe get a one lap, just to get the blood flowing a little bit, but not break out in a sweat. Not that they would break out in a sweat, but you understand what I'm saying. Okay. The third thing, and this is really important, and I suggest you try it yourself if you're really hot, is you get a marble entryway. Now this marble entryway is cool all the time. Dogs come in, they're a little warm, and they go whoosh, and they're down belly on. And if you've ever put your belly on marble, it will cool you down very quickly. I highly recommend it. If you're in our neighborhood, you don't have marble yourself, if you want to come over and try it, please feel free. Feel free. We could have some people lined up just trying it out. I'm just saying, it's a good thing. So thank you for asking that question, but I really think the key things are adjusted aerobic activity, the right do, and isn't that, ladies, always really what we need, is the right do. And the third thing is the marble floor for instant cooling.
Wow.
Okay. Now we volunteers. Satish.
All right, Steve.
Could you share with us your summertime activity to have lots of fun?
Sure. Thank you. Good evening, Table Topics, Madam, fellow members and viewers at home. Fun activities in summer. To link that, I have to first recall what is summer, which I learned from my geography teacher, Mrs. Smith. She comes in my mind just like that every time I'm in the US and call back home to talk about what's happening there. And it's March, and my mother says, it's very hot here in Madurai, Tamil Nadu. And I said, it's still very cold here. And then I reconnect my geography lessons. The globe, it's got the angle of inclination, the Tropic of Cancer going about and the Tropic of Capricorn below, and where India is in a tropical place. And when I trace back where Fairfield, Iowa, oh, we are much higher, so that's why it's cooler. And then all my cousins and friends are back in school. They say summer is over and we are getting the monsoon. And I'm here, summer just starts here now. We get to do more activities here, like be out, cycle, all the fun we have here. And now I'm always very thankful to my teacher, geography teacher, who was really very not so welcome from our friends and classmates about her teaching, but her lessons I would never forget. The way she runs the class is different, but the lessons, and when I talk over the phone, imagine the tropics, inclination, summer, the sun moving up, moving down, the earth tilted, moving up and down. It's amazing. Summer is great. And I like to do all activities in summer. Thank you.
Art, come on up. What's your favorite way? We've got the four-legged friends way of keeping cool in summer. What's your favorite way to keep cool in summer?
Thank you, Madam Table Topics Master. Good evening, Toastmasters, friends, viewers at home. My favorite way to cool off in the summer is learned in Houston, which is a 3-shower-a-day town. In the summer, for a lot of the year, Houston is 3 showers a day. And jumping in a cold shower is convenient, and it works, and it's the best thing around here that I know of. Bucolic is a fabulous choice of tonight's word. If we're celebrating what there is to do in the summer, I was reminded of how many have read or heard of the book Knoxville Summer of 1915? How many have read or heard of the book Dandelion Wine?
Yeah.
Okay, these books define bucolic life. I think about the fact that in the summertime, it's just so much easier to be outside. Naps forgiven. It's so much more fun to be out doing stuff outside. My definition of really great summer weather is those periods of time when you can leave the house, windows open 24/7 for weeks at a time, and just revel in the breeze coming in, going out. You're just not cooped up in the house and no AC required. Those, to me, are the perfect time. Bucolic is walking down a gravel road in Iowa with corn over your head and kicking gravel and listening to cicadas in the trees and smelling barbecue as you walk by somebody's place. Bucolic is having a car go by you on that gravel road so fast it kicks up a huge cloud of dust, even though you had to step off into the ditch to make sure that you weren't going to get hit. Bucolic is the fact that everybody can gather around the bandstand at the center of town and listen to a band concert being played by guys that work in the local mechanic shops and factories and are part of the Air Force Reserve or the U.S. Army Reserve and the local post. That's bucolic. That's what those books capture. That's what is the best about summer.
Time for one more?
I have no idea. I think it's time to stop.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you to all our participants. And Rick, could you tell us who qualified and could you read their names? I don't need the times, just who qualified.
Who qualified? I'm sorry, I didn't catch the first speaker's name.
That was Marilyn.
Marilyn. Marilyn qualified, Jean qualified, and Satish, is that your name? Satish qualified.
Okay, all right, so please vote for Marilyn, Jean, Satish. Okay. Oh, to resume, I'd like to now call up our table topics evaluator. Please warmly welcome Jeff Shipley.
Hello, I'm tonight's Table Topics evaluator, and I have the privilege tonight of evaluating the Table Topic speakers. Start off with Marilyn spoke on her favorite part of summer, and I really liked the way she dove right in. She gave us some really nice images, brought up our friends Tom and Cindy, and spoke of the majesty of the Mississippi. One thing I would ask her to improve would be she was almost stuck behind the lectern. You could use more movement around stage, and also your volume was a little bit soft. Not that I couldn't hear you or anything. I just prefer, to be louder and get in people's faces. We're talking about summer here. Let's get excited. Other than that, it was a fantastic, wonderful talk. Jean, you spoke of our four-legged friends. You talked about their hairdos, their aerobic activities, and marble entryways. You also dove right in, used great gestures, brought a lot of humor into your talk, which I really appreciated. Again, you came out in front of the lectern, but again, you just stood right here. I felt you could have maybe moved around a little bit more. Other than that, I really appreciated the way you brought the audience into your talk. You invited them to use your own marble entryway, which hopefully we'll all take you up on that. Satish, you spoke of summer activities. Unlike the two previous speakers, you did take a moment to think about it, which is always great to collect your thoughts. And again, it was just a moment. So it was like you closed your eyes and you were able to dive right into your speech. Again, very nice gesture. Spoke about the glow. Spoke of the top tropic of Cancer, or whatever it was. Sorry. My only kind of recommendation is you kind of pretended to answer the question, but you didn't really. You really just spoke about the geography lesson. I think the only summer activity I heard you utter was cycling. Although you say you like all summer activities, which of course is understandable. Art, your speech was lovely. I don't have enough nice things to say about you. You spoke about ways to personally keep cool during the summer. You dove right in. You answered the question very directly with a cold shower. And you had a very nice, excitable tone. That's what I liked most, was your tone of voice was just perfect. It shows you're having a lot of fun with it, engaged the audience into your own excitement. And again, I really liked the way you made it personal. You gave us some literature recommendations. And then after you just flat out directly answered the question, then you defined bucolic pretty exhaustively, and I really appreciate that as well. So that was. Thank you, Cindy, for the questions, and thank you everyone for participating in Table Topics.
Thank you. I think now everyone has a pretty good idea of what bucolic means, what it means. My idea of being bucolic is floating down the Mississippi River on a rubber raft.
Yep.
And that's how I keep cool this summer. I'm up to here in the river. All right. Now that's it for Table Topics. Let's turn the meeting back over to our Toastmaster for the speaking portion. Thank you.
Now we'll move to our prepared speeches section. We'll have 3 speeches, prepared speeches. Oh, today we have only two. Sorry about that. Sorry for that. The first speech, the speaker is Diane Denwell. I'd like to call John Norris to introduce our speaker and read her objectives.
Mr. Toastmaster, golden speakers, guests, and viewers at home. Tonight we have a special treat. We have an advanced communicator giving an advanced speech from the Advanced Communicator Manual. Diane, we may all know Diane from that bucolic evening at her house 3 weeks ago. Diane is going to speak on a humorous speech tonight. She starts out with telling me that she found her Advanced Communicator Manual in her file cabinet that she'd had in there for a year. And tonight she's finally going to tackle it. Diane has a great sense of humor. She loves, her favorite type of TV show are comedies. And she says there's nothing like laughter. She laughs with her family, and many times Diane and her husband, Louis, laugh together over Googled comedies. Whatever that means.
We Google comedy and see something we can laugh at.
So her objectives tonight are to prepare a speech that opens with a humorous story. Then she needs to personalize that story, and she needs to deliver the story smoothly and effectively. So let's have a humorous welcome for Diane Van Val.
Good evening, Toastmasters, viewers at home. How many of you would like to learn an incredible tip for mastering your Toastmaster skills? Hands? Good. Tonight, this is my story. I'm sticking to it. And my tip is this. If you want to hang out, if you want to develop your Toastmaster skills, hang out with the elderly. Tonight I'm going to tell you 4 skills that I promise you can be developed if you hang out with the elderly. 1, in general, and in my experience and in my life and in my story, the elderly do have some trouble hearing. Now sometimes their TV can be very loud. So as a Toastmaster hanging out with the elderly, you get to develop vocal variety. You will no longer have Cindy Trainer tell you in suggestions for improvement, make sure the people in the back can hear you. On the other hand, there's also that part of vocal variety where you develop soft speaking. And if you're with the elderly, you mumble a lot. Wow, you're kidding me. We have to go to that store again. How long does it take to buy a loaf of bread IV? More Fox News. Vocal variety. Number 2. The elderly, in general, spend a fair bit of time alone. And in a way it doesn't matter. Because if they get your ear, they will tell you their stories. Reminisce, tell their story, reminisce, tell their story, reminisce, tell their story. And as a Toastmaster, again, if you're hanging out with the elderly, you develop the skill of listening. 3. On this note of listening, they're telling you their story, they're reminiscing. There's a tendency for them to forget the stories. They might mix one story they told you last week with a story they're telling you this week. They forget the names of the people from the past. If you're a Toastmaster and you're hanging out in this situation with the elderly, you will see how painful it is when a speaker does not get to the point. Competent communicator project number 3, get to the point. 4. In this category, we're talking about facial gestures or facial expressions under the category of gestures, the power of those in a speech. So if you're with an elderly person, again, kind of focusing up here in the head area, there's a lot of this. Yeah. Yeah, you mentioned that. You're kidding. Oh, wow. His name was Tom. Yeah, you mentioned that. Yeah, yeah, I've heard that story. Wow. You also need a lot of patience. And let's face it, well, in my story, yeah, I'm human, and I can lose my patience. So if you're with the elderly and they happen to turn around, and it's this kind of gesture. Whoa. Breathe. What I wouldn't do for a bucolic afternoon alone. It's interesting, fellow Toastmasters. In the beginning, I asked, how many of you are ready to learn my secret tip for developing your Toastmaster skills? I'd like to inform you that most of the group raised their hand. So, I challenge you, brace yourself, and go find an elderly person to spend some time with, and see how naturally and easily you will develop the 4 skills that I mentioned. Vocal variety, listening, get to the point, and facial expressions. Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Let's take 2 minutes to evaluate the speaker. Welcome back. I would like to call Rhonda Whitaker to read the objectives for Tom Trainer.
Tom Trainer. He's a 17-year member of Toastmasters. He's a double distinguished DTM and is currently working on his 3rd DTM. Everybody got that? Do you know how much work that is? He's been around the track about 100 times. He has served his clubs in every officer role, including being the Area 92 and Division E governor. Tom has started and mentored 2 new Toastmasters clubs, including 1 operating at Fort Madison Maximum Security Prison. The objectives for Tom's speech are to deliver a fact-finding report of 5 to 7 minutes. Oh, it's going to be a little longer than that. On a situation, event, or problem. The information will be comprehensive and well organized. His goal is to present it in an interesting manner. The talk will include an overview of the report, an explanation of how the data was gathered, and a thorough presentation of relevant facts. The speaker is to then field questions from the audience. Tonight, Tom is doing project number 4, a fact-finding report from the Advanced Communicator Manual, Speaking to Inform. He has asked the timer for 12 to 16 minutes. His title is, What is the DCP and what's in it for me? This is an interactive speech, and you are expected to participate. Please help me in warmly welcoming Tom Trainer.
Mr. Toastmaster, Rhonda, my evaluator, fellow Toastmasters, honored distinguished guest, former Toastmaster viewers at home. DCP, sounds like code, it is code. It's Toastmaster Talk, 4 distinguished club program.
And why do you care? And why do I care? I have to tell you that this whole thing started over 30 years ago. Toastmasters International was looking for a way to find out what's good, what's bad, what works, what's not working. And they started a program, and they had points assigned to clubs. But what it didn't do was it wasn't accountable. It didn't make sense to the people in the club. So in 1999, they switched to the current program. The current program has 10 very distinctive goals. And they're all in the form of completions. Accountability. You've heard of the word accountability? It's not like bucolic, it's the other end of the scale. It's very task-orientated, get it done, be on time, do all the steps. Now, I've been in the 12-step program, I've had the 10 commandments, I got the 10 DCP steps, 7 objectives of great managers. It's pretty complicated for me, and I think for most people. So I'm going to break it down, pretend that we all only have 3 fingers, that we're going to work on a base 3, and we're going to make it all in base 3. Now what I'm going to show you as a prop is to stand for a milking stool. If any of you ever heard about milking stools, they were invented and used for many years because they're absolutely self-leveling, very sturdy, can't be broken, do anything you want. They hold up really well. So it's the 3-legged stool. Everything I'm going to talk about tonight is in 3 legs, 3 times 3, get you to 9, at least 1 step. Now Jean, last time I did this, she took me to task because I didn't explain how we get to 10 from 3 threes, which is 9. So we're going to do that just for Jean. Vanna White tonight behind these things. Vanna, will you throw number 1 over the top for us? Well, there's Vanna for you. She's giving us the 5 sign. I'm going to start with the first 3 items. We're going to break it down into 3 items. Awards, which there are 6. Members, which gives you 2 points. And process, which gives you 2 points. Now if you take 6 and 2 is 8, and 2, what number do you get, Jean?
10.
10, all right, we get to 10. Well, the whole purpose is, and I'm going to back up, this is reverse engineering better than the Japanese ever did. They got to all of this by looking at what clubs that were producing leaders, were sending people to contests, were sending people to the spring and fall conventions, the people that were doing well, and they realized that if you look at what they did all of these, and they did them in an order, and they did them in a way that was easy for them to do. So what's in it for you? You came here to speak better, to listen better, which you didn't know, and to get your leadership. The way this is structured, if you help the club, you are helping yourself. You are getting your completions in speaking, leadership, listening, officership, all of the things that make everybody do better happens here. Vanna, can you give me slide number 2? Here it comes. There you go. What I'm going to do is break down item 1 under awards. We'll break it down into 3 pieces. Competent communicator. CC is lingo, Toastmaster lingo for competent communicator. Now, it used to be competent Toastmaster. And they discovered as soon as people got the word competent in front of the word Toastmaster, they were out the door like a shot. Because I'm a competent Toastmaster and I'm leaving. And they had a hell of a turnover problem. So, they changed it from competent Toastmaster to a competent communicator. Broke it down, made it a little bit more distinct, but made it say what you were getting. In order to get all our awards, we have to do 4 competent communicators. Now, right now, we're almost done. Berchanowski finished one in April, and being a good officer and a good Toastmaster, he did not submit his award until sometime in July. 1 done. Satish has 9 done. He's going to finish soon. Darlene has 9 done, and she's going to finish before sometime in December. She's got a new job. So there's 2 and 9. And someone else on my cheat sheet, I forgot what it said, but there's someone else here. Dan?
Ron just said.
Rhonda and Dan both are.
No, Ron Kerr.
Ron Kerr has got 9. So there's, you've got your 4 virtually done. Ron's going to deliver his 4th or 9th, 10th speech on July 30th. So you're going to have these 4 CCs, and they make up 2 goals. The reason they put this in 4, there's always more competent communicators than there are advanced communicators. So goals 1 and 2 are 2 CCs and 2 CCs. For our purposes, we always do all of them, so we're just going to call it 4 CCs. Get our first 2 goals done. Then 2 advanced communicators, that's what an AC stands for. Right now, I have 5 more to do after tonight. Stephanie has just agreed to give her 1 more, and she will have our advanced communicator. Now that doesn't take us off the hook. If we look at what's in the future, we have virtually no one else except Vanna behind the screen here who's working on an advanced communicator for this club. Scott is working on one, and he's intending to finish. But we're going to need you next year. We're going to need you next year, and you next year. Yeah. So that's why we need to get that pipeline full. The pipeline was basically empty, except for Stephanie. Staff may or may not do anything. Leadership. The reason I said leadership, this is a catch-all. It includes people who get to be distinguished Toastmasters, people who do advanced communicator gold, bronze, silver, and then also you've got your basic competent leader. So that's a real catch-all phrase. You can get this done. We only need 2. 2 people are almost done or pretty much done, I believe, with that. Was it you and Dan and Rhonda are pretty much done? By the way, I talked to these people. They did give me permission to use their name, and they did commit to me in front of, but they're going to commit in front of you, that they will finish what they said. So that we'll take care of. And this is the biggest piece. Virtually almost very few clubs get this piece done right. If you want to look at all of the clubs, probably only 3 clubs of the 95 in the state of Iowa get to do all of this. This is truly unique. This club does it right every year. Vanna, 1 more. Next. Next. There you go. Now, this is complicated. It's membership. And it counts for 2 of the 10 points. You keeping track, Gene? You making sure I'm doing all 10? Okay. It's complicated because it's an either-or situation. You've got to get 8 new members to get both of the goals. But the qualifier is it only counts if your club has 20 members. For this club, that's never a problem. So we don't have to go to the next one. But the next one is what Speakers Trust and many of the other clubs deal with. They only have 5, 6, 8, 10 members. In order to get credit, they have to have a +5 net new members over their base of July 1. Your club has 5, you lose 2, you're down to 3. You've actually got to go for 7 new ones to get there. So that's the qualifier. It's the hardest piece of the whole program to understand. People read the +5 and go, oh great, but they forget they lost 2, 3 members. Most clubs are not in the 8 and 20. Probably only 10 clubs in the entire state of Iowa have 20 members. Only 2 of them have 30. All the rest are somewhere between 5 and 12. The reason I know, I look through all of the reports every month to see where everybody else is, particularly the first 6 months of the year, trying to make sure we as a club stay on track. Any questions about that? Anybody not get that? It's pretty simple for us. We always hit the 20, not a big deal. Okay, Vanna, 1 more. And you can sit down, Vanna, and get a round of applause for Vanna White. Please give Vanna a really good... Two more goals to go. We've covered 6 and 2. We're at 8. We've got 2 more to go, right, Jean?
Right.
Okay. Jean's by keeping track. She's good at math.
I'm on the DCP.
You're on this DCP. Process. Jean was a former president, and she worked the game to make it work. Process is the paperwork. It's the little stuff. It's the easy things to do if you do them. Officer list on time. That has to be done by June 30th. We've already done that. Jean made sure that this club, as the secretary, submitted the officer list as it stood on June 30th. Now that officer list is not cast in concrete. It can be changed at any time. So it's pretty fluid, but you'd be surprised, half of the clubs in the state of Iowa do not even do this. And it's a giveaway, it's a freebie. It's like, just send in 4 names. Guys, that's all you gotta do. They can't do that right. They're not following the process. They're not doing leadership as a format. Here we go. 4 officers trained times 2. That means summer, which we've already had. We had one in June, we've got a couple more in July. We'll have another couple in January, February. Times 2. Any 4 officers going to training twice. This is where this club failed. Now we eventually got our 10 goals done, but we did not get 4 officers trained in January, and we had 2 opportunities to do it. That's why we don't have the lectern. And there was a lot of people who were really upset because all the other Toastmasters did all the other things that I've talked about before. It was all done. We couldn't get this done. There was confusion, no questions were asked, nobody tried to figure it out. So, but Rhonda already knows that, so she's going to make sure this happens. She'll slap you upside of the head if you don't. And I've got to put down the last part of the process is pay your dues on time times 2. Now, Toastmasters says you only have to do it once. But if you can do it twice, every time, you're never going to screw it up. So from my side, you always pay your dues on time. What does that mean? They have to be in California by the 5th business day of October and April. We always do it before, right? We're the last, we pay the 1st of the month. But they do give you 5 business days to pay. So all that process is only 2 goals. But it's convoluted because you got to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You got to do 5 things to get 2 goals. You got to kind of keep it on. So I've given you a really quick overview. What's in it for you? You get your goals. But the club also, by doing 10 goals, gets to be recognized. And if you do 10 goals first, you get to keep the lectern. So just let me give you some historical data about this club. This club has done 10 goals, 12 out of the last 14 years. And of those 14 years, the last 11 in a row, this club has done 10 goals. Now, they didn't always do it first. There were times when this club didn't get it done till April or May, but they've always done 10 goals. That's why you see a vibrant club. You see members that are engaged. You see members doing their projects. You see members that are happy. You see members that are enjoying. They've learned a lot. And they learn a lot because we all do a lot. Like the old saying, if you want to get good at something, do a lot of it. Right, John?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Questions? I know I may have, yes, Rhonda's got a question.
I have a question about the second training. It's called the spring training, but it happens in December or January.
January.
In January. Does it matter where you go for training, and does it matter if you go to the first or the last training?
Well, if you want to be first, you want to go to the first training. It doesn't matter where you go to get your training. Now, when Jean, I'm going to tell you the story about Jean. And Vanna back there, I'll tell you about this one. There was a prison club up in Illinois that had the same goals done that we did. And we knew, because they were a prison club, they were going to get training on Wednesday, December the 3rd, in Illinois. They had the same goals done we did. So it was who gets there first. So Jean, being Jean, got Diane and Ed Hip, and who were the other 2? Mira, and who's the 4th?
Mirza and Ron.
Mirza and Ron Kerr.
Ron Kerr.
So they get into a car, and they leave here at noon on a Monday. And they drive all the way to Sioux City, Iowa, for officer training.
Because it was the first one.
For the first one, and the first one was Monday, December the 1st. Gene was going to make sure we got this done. So they all go on and they do this wonderful trip, and it was a typical Toastmaster road trip. They got silly. Ed Hip calls Gene about 6 o'clock or 6:30 and says, we got lost and we're never going to make the training, so we're turning around and coming home. Then he hangs up on her.
Oh, the other funny part was in the car, my sister said, well, this is really worth doing because would you rather face Gene, Simon Craig, or the prisoners? I said,
The prisoners.
the prisoners, yes. Let's
So that's kind of where, what we've done in the past, why we've done it, what is important to you. It's important to you because it makes your club a vibrant, fun place to be. And you know we all love to laugh, and as I used to say, if we don't laugh, we ain't doing it. Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you, Tom. Let's evaluate Tom. Please time for 2 minutes. Welcome back. Rick, are both the speakers qualified?
Yes, both speakers qualify.
Now we'll vote for the speaker. Jan Denwall and Tom Trainer. Now we'll move to the next section of our meeting. It is the evaluation section. I'd like to call our general evaluator tonight, Jesus Rios.
My duty as a general evaluator is to evaluate the evaluators, but first I'd like to introduce our first evaluator, young learners that will evaluate and demo.
Thank you. Thank you, General Evaluator, Golden Toastmasters, guests and viewers at home. We had a nice treat tonight. We had some humor from Diane Denbaum. She told humorous stories of her dealings with elderly people. Her objectives tonight were threefold. But I'd like to go down the checklist of what she needed to accomplish tonight. Okay. First thing she needed to accomplish was to have an opening story. And how well did we all relate to her opening story? I think very well. I think we all know elderly people in our lives. Some of us are even elderly, right? And her her amusing point was, if you want to be a good Toastmaster, hang out with those people because they build skills. And she went on to tell us the 3 skills that they build. And she told us humorous little stories and acted out each story for each point. One of the points was, get to the point. Elderly people like to ramble, okay? Maybe they like our attention to listen to them, but we need to get to the point. So she brought that out very humorously and with good facial expressions, I thought. Also, was the story amusing to us personally? Yes, I think it was amusing to us. Did it attract and keep our attention? Did she keep our attention? Yes. Well, Diane that's her whole thing. She keeps your attention. She's a teacher. If she can't keep your attention as a teacher, she's lost control of the class. And we are her students. I feel that, especially when she was screaming over here. Some really bad memories came back. How was her delivery? Did her delivery help or hinder the story? Obviously, Diane is an advanced communicator. Her delivery helps the story. It makes us learn the points by being focused and being clear. She's an advanced communicator. How did the speaker improve? How could you have improved on the story's delivery? Well, there's 3 parts to that. There's in a joke, there's the setup, there's the delivery, and then there's the punchline at the end. And I think Diane did all 3 very well. And actually, she did it 3 times through the speech. With the 3 points, she gave us 3 different examples, and she set us up each time and gave us a punchline each time. How comfortable and confident did Diane seem? Well, you always seem comfortable and confident, even though you say you don't.
Yeah.
Okay. Was the speech or body organized clearly and logically? Yes. And how could you improve? One improvement. One improvement, and I know why, I'm going to say this and I know why you didn't do it, is personalize the story. Now, I know why you didn't personalize the story, because you don't want your mother to see you on the video, okay? Talking about her and how she mumbled, you know, all that stuff. So I understand that, but if you were to give another speech, I would personalize it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Now, our next evaluator to evaluate Tom Trainer, please help me welcome Rhonda Whitaker.
The lens of experience and wisdom. Tom is like our crystal ball for Toastmasters. He always has an answer for us when we are in trouble, or to help us when we have a question about which way to turn next. Tom came out very boldly, took the whole stage. He used visual aids, and he made it very clear to us by breaking it down into the three-legged stool. His organization was exceptional. His explanations were noteworthy. He explained the history of DCP, which I didn't know. I found that very interesting. Did anybody else find that interesting? It's a voice of experience. Many members before us, our ancestor Toastmasters before us set the stage. Tom used big gestures to make his points, to emphasize a point every now and then. I liked the way you had one at a time, one section of the program at a time. I thought that was very effective for people to be able to absorb and digest. The complexity of the timing is something that we will learn as we go through it. How many people here feel that they understand DCP better? How many people here are enthusiastic about getting involved in the program? Woo! All right, very good. That's one area that I would suggest adding something, Tom, would be to name some names, people who've done something over and above what was expected of them, who stepped forward to help the club, and why they did it, for personal self-enhancement, personal empowerment, and for personal improvement, so that people get it, that this is to help you. This program's here to help you, each and every one, to succeed in what your goals are. So he set the goals for the club. I'm very happy that Tom has done this. That's been something that's been on my mind as the new president, and he made it extremely clear. Let's give Tom a hand. Mr. General Evaluator.
And now, we're going to get a report for... Yes, please, let's vote for... Timer, did both of the evaluators qualify?
All three.
All three. And the table
Yes,
topic.
yes, three. And can you please give us their names?
All three evaluators qualified. Jeff, John, and Rhonda all qualified.
Yo! Please, let's vote for the best evaluator. And we are back. Welcome back. Oops. Now we're going to get a report for everybody that had a role in tonight's meeting. And we're going to start with our timer. Rick, will you please give us your report?
The table topic speakers, do we want the times? Yeah, the table topic speakers, Marilyn. The table topic is 1 to 2 minutes. Marilyn was 1 minute 21 seconds. Jean, 2 minutes 2 seconds. Satish, 1 minute 53 seconds. And Art, 2 minutes 33 seconds.
Oh, 3.
The speeches, Diane was 5 to 7 minutes. And she was 6 minutes 15 seconds. Tom, 12 to 16 minutes, 16 minutes 17 seconds. The evaluators, table topics evaluator Jeff, this was a 2 to 3 minute evaluation, 2:32. The speech evaluators, John, 319, and Rhonda, 202.
Thank you. Thank you, Rick. And now, we're going to get the report from our ad counter, Darlene Sweet Martin.
As the all
Does that count?
That was intentional. Y'all kept me busy tonight. One so, two ands, and like a tongue click. Jyoti, 5 ahs. Karen, 1 ah. Cindy, 1 so, 1 and. Marilyn, 1 ah, 1 so, 2 ands. Jean, 1 ah, 1 so, 2 buts, 1 tongue click. 1 repeat. Satish, 2 likes, 2 so's, 1 but, 10 ands. Art, 1 so, 8 ands. Rick, 1 ah. Jeff, you really kept me busy.
Oh, I bet.
7 ahs, 10 ums, 1 like, 2 you know, 1 so, and 5 ands. John, 5 ands, 1 3 so's, 2 buts, 10 ands, 3 repeats. Diane, 4 so's, 5 ands, 2 tongue clicks, 1 repeat. Tom, 1 you know, 8 so's, 4 buts, 7 ands, 2 tongue clicks, 2 repeats. Jesus, 1 ah, 1 but, 3 ands. Oh, I'm done.
The ahs and buts, that's because I'm a little bucolic. I just wanted to fit it in. Now, let's get a report from our grammarian, Karen Akoy.
Aoki.
Aoki, I'm sorry, I
Aoki.
apologize. Aoki, I'm a little. Okay.
I'm enjoying this cheat sheet that is provided for grammarians. I noticed that they provide examples of good language, like parallelism, and I felt that Art made a good use of parallelism when he started to use bucolic. And he had a beautiful poetic ending to his speech. So he said, bucolic is a fabulous walk down the street in Iowa, etc., etc. So that was a great use of parallelism. Jeff, although you had a lot of filler words, I always feel you do very well with enunciation of words. And you have great, powerful words too. So whatever comes out of your mouth is gripping. I like how you praised, who said cold shower? Oh, Art. So you praised Art's talk, and you said you dove right in with a cold shower, which is a fun way to talk about that. Yeah, exactly. Art also leads the way with the most uses of bucolic. He used it 6 times. Marilyn used it twice, Cindy used it once, John once, Jesus once at the very end. Diane also used bucolic. Tom, that was the only time I would catch anything in terms of grammar. It wasn't actually grammar. It was that you had 2 instances where you just didn't put the last word in the sentence. So you said, to get your leadership, and I think you meant to say training. And there was also a sentence, there was a lot of people, so switch that to were. There were a lot of people. How much time? Another one.
We got lots of time.
Okay. Rhonda is always wonderful with metaphors. She described Tom as a crystal ball. So you always have these very illustrative words and descriptions. So very good uses of word of the day. Thank you very much.
Karen Aoki, our Polish grammarian. Now we're coming to something that Tom says, if we're not laughing, we're not doing it. And obviously, we had a lot of laughs here today. And to continue with the laughs, I'd like to present our joke masters, Elvira. Please help me welcome them.
Tonight we're doing a charade, and we're going to divide the room up in two groups and see how we get along here with this. So it's July, and we go back to our bucolic framers, how they worked very hard to give us our freedoms. So we think along the terms of American pride. The first one.
Eagle.
There you go.
Eagle. That side got that one. And the next one is
Betsy Ross.
Betsy Ross.
and the next one is
Judge decision. Supreme Court.
Capital.
Constitution. Constitution.
going to that one.
Oh, ringing the bell. Was it the
Yes.
Liberty Bell? Yeah.
Okay, Liberty Bell.
Yay!
The next one is
Fireworks. Fireworks.
yeah, that's I got that one. And
Constitution. Declaration. Fly swatter.
Bad dog.
Statue of
Oh,
Liberty.
sorry.
Yeah,
Statue of Liberty.
Yay!
okay, this is fun.
Under the carpet.
Crochet. Threshing grain.
George Washington chopping down the
Cherry.
I don't know who is counting, but that's it.
And now it's time to evaluate the evaluators. Jeff, really sparky, really confident. You just really get into your audience. You grab their attention and you continue with throughout your whole presentation with their attention. That was really good. Let's see what else. You gave some suggestions. You just give them your opinion of how you perceive their speech, and it was all good notes. I noticed that none of the tabletop speakers greet the audience except Satish. He was the only one, and I felt that that's something that you left out because this is a protocol from Toastmasters, and it's a good custom to have wherever you're going to do a presentation, always to greet your audience, acknowledge everybody. So that would be the only thing that I have, an only suggestion, and that's just to help imprint that on everybody, even if they're not speaking, just to make sure that when they come here, it is really important to shake hands and greet the audience. John. Again, I'm going to go back to the phrase that Tom said earlier. If we're not laughing, we're not doing it. And you certainly have a good sense of humor, a good personality, a good voice. I think that you can be a radio DJ with that voice. And your laugh is just like really, you just laugh with freedom. I don't know how to qualify your laugh, but it's just like you just let it out from the bottom of your lungs, from the bottom of your heart. It's just really sincere and relaxed laugh. I think that Diane spoke about 4 skills, unless I misunderstood, but you just say about 3 skills. And you evaluated Diane using the manual, which is, again, the best way to evaluate. And I found it a little bit difficult to come up with something to suggest, something that I think that you can improve. I feel uncomfortable because I think like I just have to make something up.
Go ahead.
Maybe,
Go
maybe I'm just a bucolic evaluator, but I just give you some example and I can show you how you come up with something to do it better. And the same goes for Rhonda. I see Rhonda, how she has grown. And not only grown as a speaker, but I think that she's also growing younger. Yes, you come out with a lot of confidence, which is a big step from when I remember when you started it. Now, again, you know, you engage your audience and you take command, you take charge.
Yeah.
And again, I think you did a wonderful job, and I just couldn't think of something that I don't feel like I'm making it up to say that you can do a better job than what you've been doing. That is my report, and now I'll pass it on to our Toastmasters.
Thank you, Jesus. Now we're at the award ceremony. So we'll give the award to the best evaluator, best speaker, best table topic. We'll start with the best table topic. The best table topic award goes to Jean.
We can line everybody up. You just come over. It'll be really nice. We'll just slide there. And I promise I won't take a picture.
Make sure the light's on so people don't stumble over the body.
And today's best evaluator is Rhonda.
Thank you.
And the best speaker is what's the best speaker? John Denwell. With this, I would like to turn meeting to our president, Rhonda Whitaker.
Again, ta-da! We're looking for a VP of membership. This is a great DVD. He doesn't curse a whole lot, but he's extremely funny. He exaggerates points, he uses gestures. It's really fun to watch, and you can watch it if you simply become VP of membership. So, I would like to ask Jeff, our VP of Public Relations, if he could give us a short report on the article he's preparing for the paper regarding.
Well, I don't have it in front of me to read, and when I explained it to Jean, she didn't seem to like it very much, but...
It's been evaluated. Well, because it's like
I was just gonna,
laundry.
Well, I was going to update the public on us losing the lectern, as I felt that was very newsworthy. My role in PR is you kind of want to present things which are considered newsworthy. And this particular article, I mean, this is a 7-year tradition, and a club from Ames beat us. And so it highlighted our successful record, the fact that Toastmasters is growing around the state, and also we mentioned our new incoming officers, which are dead set focused on reclaiming this goal, and then invites the public to help us. So from my perspective as a PR officer, I thought this was exactly the kind of earned media that I could bring to the table, and I was going to issue the press release sometime later this week with the changes we talked about last officer meeting.
Very good.
All right.
Thank you, Jeff.
All
right.
And I'd like, Art?
Now, the key thing that he said in the officer meeting that I loved was that even bad news can be good PR.
There's no such thing as bad publicity, and my goal is that Toastmasters is recognized as a brand, that we are the place to go for leadership and public speaking development, and I felt that this piece did accomplish that. So, It could be dirty laundry, but it's damn good media.
Thank you, Jack. Questions for Dan.
Second.
Our VP of Education, Dan, we're going to have an induction ceremony. Is that next week?
That is next week.
Next week, new members who would like to be a part of the induction ceremony into the club, please be here next week. We are starting our meetings officially at 7:40 now. If you're not here for your roll by 7:40, you'll be replaced.
Good.
Oh, please. All right.
Have a deadline.
Our humorous and inspirational speech contest will be in September, the end of September. Jean, did you have a question?
It's evaluation. It's evaluation in fall and
Humorous.
humorous.
It's evaluation, not inspirational?
No, that's
Okay.
spring.
Sorry.
Yes,
Spring and
right.
tabletop is,
That's right.
inspiration is, the table is spring.
All right, so start thinking of your humorous. You've had some very good examples tonight. If you want to write a humorous speech, you could start preparing for that, or think about whether you'd like to be a judge. That will be the end of September. In October, we will have our membership drive. We'll have a special event. And we are open, the Executive Officer Committee is open to anyone that wants to come to one of our meetings who is a member. Members are free to attend Executive Officer meetings. It's at 6:30, first Monday of the month.
First Tuesday.
Right here.
First Tuesday.
Okay, I can see you all getting Yancy there. All right. Okay. I'd like to invite members also to get involved in the successful club planning. Anybody who would like to be involved in that, I will send you emails about the details of our next meeting. Please send me an email that you're interested. You can get credit for this in your leadership manual. Thank you for bringing your manuals. Thank you for getting in line with the new gauntlet we have out there to reduce the amount of paperwork that goes on here in this room that makes our Jeanette Arms' job cumbersome. Thank you for your patience and your improvements. With that, I say thank you for another enjoyable evening. I look forward to more. Oh, and very interesting, we have a surprise here tonight. We have a member who is outstanding in so many categories. It's hard to beat. We have an Advanced Communicator Bronze Award here for Jean Symington Craig.
Actually, I'm really proud of this. I gave this award to conscious communicators for the Toastmaster year that just completed. And it's just very rewarding that Tom talked about the Distinguished Club Program tonight, because I can tell you that club finished the first time since about 2001, that's what I'm saying. They finished President's Distinguished this past year, which if you know the environment, they only get to meet twice a month. They can be in lockdown, anything can be happening. So to get all those completions and get that all done is quite astounding. Wanted to say, I've just written an article that's going to go, presume it's the Burlington paper, the Fort Madison paper, the treatment director down there asked for it, about all this. And it's a complex situation, actually, to be involved with that club. Although the members are cream of the crop in terms of their behavior, many of them have caused an immense pain and suffering to victims and the victims' loved ones. That's part of the psychology. What we do there, though, is that we recognize that although they can't change what they did, they can change themselves. And the rewards for volunteering come when you see that personal transformation that happens through the Toastmaster program, and it's just amazing and very addicting. Last year, the club did exactly what Tom did. We oversaw, we did a whole planning session, everybody stepped up, all these guys said they were going to be finishing. It was amazing. I said I would be doing my Advanced Communicator Bronze, and I was not going to disappoint those guys, you know. So, I mean, talk about stepping up and finishing for sure. But I just wanted to say I was really proud, and they had their annual meeting this last Saturday. It's a 4-hour meeting. They have special food brought in. They gave all kinds of awards.
Including
they gave most improved. They had a young gentleman there. All of the people who completed and contributed to the DCP got awards. And they totally shocked me because they gave me Toastmaster of the Year award, which, you know, it just really got me in the heart. So I'm skipping along up to the front, and you know, they just think it's funny. But anyway, so thank you. This is, just want to give you words about this club. That's because it's a sister club, because Tom and Cindy, Marilyn, people were involved from this area to start that club, and volunteers go from this area down there every couple of Saturdays because they can't meet without a volunteer. Someone from the outside has to be there. And we're talking metal detectors and the whole 9 yards. Can we take a lipstick? No. Can you take a comb? No. Can you take pens that have little, the little clippy things that are metal? No, because that can get turned into, I mean, there's a whole different mindset. It's very interesting. Encourage you to be a volunteer if you ever want to come down and see it. I will stop talking, but thank you very much.
Yo!
Would any of our guests like to comment on the meeting before we adjourn tonight?
Can you get a copy of the
Yes.
article that she was writing? Jean,
What?
can you email us a copy of the article that you're writing for the
Yeah,
paper?
absolutely.
Yeah, I have to get it cleared because I have names in it, and I was told that was okay, but I want to make sure that, but yeah. And actually, the thought was to have it be in the local paper and spread out a little bit, too, so, yeah. It'll happen.
Very good. Anybody else have a question before we close the evening? There's plenty of time. 30 seconds.
I have a question.
John?
I think on the counting, I think that we should go with golf rules where you stop counting after 8 strokes.
We'll take that into consideration.
Okay.
Catherine?
So are we ending our meeting 5 minutes early since we're starting 5 minutes early now?
No.
Oh, we added 5 minutes to our meeting?
No.
Yes.
Yes, if we're starting at 7:40 instead of 7:45.
We end at 9:15. We just be here 7:40.
So it's starting 5 minutes early.
We're not starting 5 minutes early.
Doesn't it used to start at 7:45?
The meeting's
We're
gonna
being-
open at 7:45, but she's saying everybody's gotta be here at 7:40 to report in for duty.
I
If
see.
you have a duty, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
Do your duty.
do your duties.
Show up.
Everybody happy?
Ah!
Everybody